Really appreciate everybody for tuning in. My name is Law Nation, and we're going to talk about Jerry Jones and also Aldon Smith. Shout out to Inside the Star. Wonderful, wonderful read. Go to that website. You will get some unbelievable content as it relates to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, in that article, you will see that Jerry Jones lamented the fact that he really liked Aldon Smith. And the storyline is wonderful. The uniqueness of it, being out for 5 years, coming back, doing the impact that he did out here for the team. Keep in mind, while everybody else were complaining, he was just explaining. And I'm talking about Aldon. He said the defense is not that complicated. He picked it up, and he been out of football for 5 years. Let that sink in. Now, he did had some highs and some lows. And trust me, you learn more about a person, how they battle through their lows. And even in this sport, in this game, it's a game. It's not real life, it's a game. We saw that this kid continued to get out there and try to make things happen when everybody else were complaining. Let me repeat, when everybody else were complaining, he was out there putting it out there on the field. Now, here's the situation. We are pretty good at defensive ends. We got the Tank Law over there. Also, we have Randy Gregory showing up and showing out. And then we drafted a guy named Bradley Anai. And then we saw some mixtures of Rondell Carter. Now, are those guys playing so far ahead and above Aldon Smith? No. One can argue that Aldon Smith, collectively speaking, don't crucify me, Cowboy Nation, that he played better than a Tank Lawrence, right? Better than a Randy Gregory. At times, he was our best defensive edge guy. Right or wrong? Let me know.
He ain't lying.
So, my thing is, Cowboy Nation, even though the 4-3 system and scheme really not his strong suit, doesn't fit his philosophy of the way he plays and the way he attacked, I'm still thinking that when they went with the 4-down lineman look, they kicked him inside, and he did a very serviceable job. He had those offensive linemen on skate. He did. He was on skates on several plays. He got a still quick get off. His hand placement is pretty nice, right? And once he gets your shoulder pads turned, then it's over with. I see those type of progressions, and I think that even in a one-gap system, he would still be valuable. Hell, we saw Tyrone Crawford out there for multiple years. Not trying to put the two against each other, but if the Cowboys are deciding to get rid of Tyrone Crawford or not bring him back for a cup of coffee, I'm looking at it like, hey, maybe, just maybe, Aldon Smith will not be that bad in that particular role. Now, you still invest. This does not mean you pass up on any interior defensive lineman in this draft, or you're not looking at a defensive lineman in the free agency because you got an Aldon Smith. No, I don't want that to happen. You still got to do your due diligence, but allow this kid to showcase his talent, to bring it out there. And think about this. We saw that this boy was able to do those things after 5 years on a hiatus, right? 5 years, that's a long time, right? That's a long time. So now we got to look at this thing and say, okay, all right, now you got a full off season. Oh yeah, because I forgot to add that into the cookie, right? It's a good cookie. It got multiple flavors. Macadamia, got raisins, got coconut. It also got chocolate in his cookie. Let me tell you, the kid didn't have an off-season workout with the Dallas Cowboys, and he was able to exhibit and exude those type of numbers. And it's not the gaudy of wonderful numbers, but just looking at it from the confines and the contextualize it for what he got now, hey, that's not bad, Cowboy Nation. So we got to look at this thing and say, all right, cool. That is what they got with him then. Now let's see what we can get from him now. And just hear me out. If they do decide to invest into that interior, right, all it's going to do is get better. Remember, defensive linemen down in the trenches. Games are won in the third and fourth quarter, especially when the offensive lineman is getting tired of getting his butt whooped, tired of getting all of that weight lean on him, right? It's when you see most of the sacks and the turnovers and giveaways and all of that stuff happening after you continue. Pound, 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 pound. If you continue to pound, all of those things will work out, Cowboy Nation. And those are the realities of it. Now, hear what I got to say from this aspect of it, especially with Aldon Smith. If we look at Randy Gregory, and our only reservation with Randy Gregory, been since he came into the league or what have you, were the off-the-field nuances as it relates to the ruling. You know, and the NFL have every right to have their ruling. But now there's no mass penalty for that. And I believe that now this particular offseason is not just beneficial for Aldon, but it's also beneficial for Randy. Let me repeat. Not just beneficial for Aldon, but it's also beneficial for Randy.
Smoke weed every day.
And if we can get this thing going in the right direction, all it takes is for a few pieces to land.
Defense is about, really, you get a good leader, you get a good guy that everybody wants to play for and knows how to push the right buttons, you can get a better defense. You can get a better defense. Now, when they hired Dan Quinn, I surely thought about this process the whole year that has gone by and said, wow, it'd have been nice to have somebody that walked in here with the record that just came off the football field, that did some dominating things on defense, so at least they can walk in the room when they get ready to talk to our players with some credibility. Because that's one of the issues that they've had this year, you know, with players talking about what's going on with the coaches, and the coaches are a little bit out of date and everything. So you thought that they wanted somebody with unbridled credibility when they walk in the room. But, you know, and Dan Quinn has had some great success on defenses and coaching defenses in this league. It just wasn't recently. So, you know, it's not about him walking in with credibility. Now he has to walk in and win the room. He has to walk in and win the room and get guys that want to play for him and turn that thing around.
Just like what Mike said, right? I would rather have a hot and up-and-coming defensive coordinator. Nevertheless, if this team is able to work together and get things going, man, mighty things can happen. And yes, all of the glory days, looking back at the highlights and everything of the 90s, that's cool, like Mike said, right?
Like I wake up, right, and I see that, because you see it on your timeline. This time, this many years ago, the Cowboys did this time. Man, you know, and it's all nice to have these memories, but at the same time, these memories bring about other things. It reminds you that it's been hella long since we've been in the NFC Championship game. You know what I'm saying? It's just so I love waking up and seeing on my timeline these highlights, catch a touchdown this long ago. But I still have to say, oh my God, it's been that long since we've been in this game.
But it's all about now, how can we get into the conversations? How can we get into the conversations? And the only way we can get into the conversations of being part of the great teams starts now. Off season, it starts now. So regardless of whether or not we got Dan Quinn or whether or not we went and got one hot shot guy, they're going to have to buy into the system and the philosophy and the scheme that the brother is putting out there. And it's better to start now. And if they believe in Aldon Smith, it's so much better to start with that part of it now, opposed to waiting. So with all of that being said, Cowboy Nation, we look at this thing and we'll say, yeah, that's cool. Everyone have a reason, but results are what matter. You know, that's what you're saying, Law. It's all good to have a reason to keep them, but what are the results? It's been 25 years and counting. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 26 years now and counting. How can we get back to that glory days, being in the conversations of being in the playoff, what we're going to witness this weekend and beyond? Starts now. Inch by inch, everybody. Old folks right. Every tub got to sit on his own bottom. Tub can't be depending on somebody else. Got to sit on his own bottom. Man, them old folks right, baby. They are. Let me know of your thoughts. Let me know how you all feel about the Aldon Smith being back. Y'all let me know if that's something that you guys agree with, or you can just say, hey, nah, Law, let's move on. That's part of the problem there, Law. We holding on to these guys. We hold it on. Now, when we say that, Cowboy Nation, he'll be a high commodity as it relates to the free agency. But when we say we hold on to these guys, that would be the Dorrance Armstrongs of the world and whoever else that's out there that's really, really, we look at the tape, we really ain't seeing anything. That's what we say, man, we hold on to the guys too long. But post me your thoughts, post me your concerns down below. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. Peace.
Outstanding.
He ain't lying.